She seems so normal. Then again, they all do, don't they? Ask the neighbor, a close friend of any serial killer, and they'll always say the same thing. Kept to himself, sure, but always seemed like a nice enough guy. I had no idea what he was capable of. Now I'm asking that about myself, as I stare at her through the cafe's window. She's getting a coffee with her friends after class. Caramel frappuccino, her favorite order, but her cup is almost empty. Soon she'll make her excuses and leave, and take the 12-minute walk down Princeton Avenue, her third floor, one bedroom apartment in the Rue Heights apartment complex. She doesn't have classes tomorrow. Nobody will notice she's gone until Thursday. And by then, I'll be gone, and it'll be over. At long last, it'll all be over. I've been watching her all day, and hunting her down every day prior for the last 6 years. I don't think there's been a full minute of my waking life since that she hasn't wandered into my mind and smiled at me. That same smile from the press conference when I first picked her out in the crowd all those years ago. Tasha Bianchi, college student, majoring in economics with a minor in political science. She works part-time as a receptionist at a family-owned legal office in town. She's 19 years old and has been for a very long time. Today, when the opportunity arose itself, I'm going to walk up behind her and put the barrel of my snub-nosed .38 to her head. I'm going to tell her who I am and why I'm here. Then I'm going to blow her fucking brains out. It's true what they say. A mother will do crazy things for her children. But really, I haven't been a mother in 6 long years. And I've got Tasha Bianchi to thank for that. She's certainly taking her time with that coffee, but that's fine. I know if I'm patient, my window will open. All I can do in the meantime is wait, and hope that she really is who I think she is. I start the car when she gets up and grabs her bag. She's pretty tall, with long, blonde, silver hair that falls past her shoulders. I imagined it flecked with red, if that's even the color she bleeds. By the time she leaves the cafe and starts heading home, I'm already halfway there. When she gets back, she'll dive for what she did to Charlie, and I'll be the one to pull the trigger. Rogue Heights is not unlike most tenant buildings you see in the college towns like this. They rent out cheap rooms for students who will blow in the wind and then leave under cover of night to bigger and better things elsewhere. The only thing that makes it even somewhat special is the ugly tomato red bricks that they used to build it. The same bricks that give it its namesake. You've never even met the person you're paying your rent to in a place like this, and security is always shit. That's how I get in. And take the rickety old service elevator to the 3rd floor. Tasha's apartment is number 14. You wouldn't believe the things you can find out from stealing people's mail. Since Charlie disappeared, I've had nothing but time, and only one thing I've ever wanted to spend it on. She hasn't always been Tasha Bianchi. As far as I'm aware, this identity is a fresh one. For this semester, back in Boston, she was Tracy King. In New Haven, she was Carrie Duncan. In Bridgeport, she was Ann Waters. In Stanford, she was Lucy Bellamy. The only other thing all these places have in common are spikes and missing children during the time she spent there. Who knows who else she's been, and where? Who knows the names she's had and the names she's taken? All I know is that Tasha Bianchi is the name she'll put on her tombstone. As I stand with my back against the wall around a corner near the door to her apartment, when the door opens on the other end of the hall, and I hear her humming as she walks towards the door, I know it's her. I'm gripping the .38 so hard, I'm worried the grip will splinter in my hands. It's all too close. Too real. The same questions kept repeating in my head. What if it isn't her? What if I'm wrong? What if I'm about to kill an innocent girl? I can see the headlines now. Grieving mother snaps, commits gruesome murder. Everyone will read it and judge me. What a horrible mother, they'll think. Just couldn't get over the past. Couldn't accept it was her fault that he's gone. My thoughts are interrupted by the sound of her key entering the lock. Too late, and I can't wait. She's halfway across the threshold, and I round the corner and press the barrel up against the back of her skull. It's next to impossible to suppress the shaking in my hand, even with envisioning this exact moment so many times. I'm dripping with terror sweat, head swimming with all those lethal questions. What if you're wrong? What if you're crazy? What if you kill her for nothing? Don't scream is what I say. Listen to me. Scream, and you're dead. That's a promise. For a moment, Tasha just freezes, processing it all. Then her breath gets heavy and quick. She's frantic, afraid. When she speaks, I can hear the tears in her voice. Okay, she stammers out. Just please don't hurt me. Shut up. Get inside now. There's a venom in my voice, a toxic certainty. On the inside, I know nothing but this is certain. I can't see her face, but I know she's crying. I didn't expect her to cry. She steps forward, and I follow her in, closing the door behind us and turning on the light in the sitting room. It's so damn normal, just like the rest of her. Cheap-looking thrift store furniture, a little TV, and a PlayStation. Movie and band posters on the wall. It's all too human. Something about it terrifies me. You can take anything, she weeps. Money, my TV, my phone, just don't hurt me. Please. I press the barrel harder into the base of her skull. She heaves out a sob. You killed him, you evil little shit. My Charlie. You killed him. She tries to turn her head. Who? I pull back the hammer with my thumb. The turn comes to an abrupt stop. Don't play dumb with me. You're at the conference, just another face in the crowd. But you were the only one who was grinning. That's when I knew Tasha. I don't understand. How do you know my name, she pleads. And every word hurts me. It's all been building to this. Years of pain, years of searching, trawling social media, analyzing missing children data, living out of motel after fucking motel, to finally get this monster in my crosshairs. Giving up and selling everything. Sacrificing the little life I had left after Charlie to pursue the thing that killed him and make sure it never happened again to anybody. I'm a ghost of who I was back then. 6 years, and her face hasn't even changed once. Fat, hot tears are dripping down my cheeks. Every word feels like a razor blade in my throat. It takes everything I have not to crumble to the ground and sob there until there's nothing left inside me. All I need to do is pull the trigger. And I don't know why I can't. I let him walk to school that morning. I was busy working. That's what I was doing when I let my son die. Working. The words tumble out of me, these nasty, jagged things. I got a call from his teacher. He never even made it to class. He was 8 years old. I can't tell which one of us is crying harder. She just keeps repeating, it wasn't me, please, I don't want to die. And part of me believes her. The years haven't been kind to me since then. Maybe I've lost it. Gone crazy. Toys in the attic, bars in the window. I don't know anything anymore. I'm sorry, I say without even thinking. But this only ends one way. My finger curls around the trigger and the air drains out of the room. You can hear the footsteps of a housefly in the silence. That's when her crying stops, mid-sob, like turning off a recording. But if you kill me, she says, her voice suddenly smooth and even. You'll never know what really happened to him, will you? Everything about her seems to change all of a sudden. Without really changing at all, though. Her shrunken posture of fear and weakness melts away. She stands tall and confident. At full height, she has a foot on me easily. I need to lift the barrel higher to keep it level with her head. I step back a little, creating distance between us. I want to scream and cry and rip her throat out with my teeth. All this time I wasn't crazy. I was right. Charlie, I found her. I was right. I'm going to turn around now, she says, her voice so commanding in its sincerity that my hate and rage turns to anxiety. Just remember, if you decide to shoot, that's your son's last moments you're painting the wall with, okay? As she turns, I try with everything I have to suppress the returning tremor in my hand. 38 has never felt heavier, but I can't show weakness. Not now. She's smiling. The exact same smile she gave me at the press conference when I was begging into a microphone and all the news cameras and phone cameras for Charlie's safe return. She was smiling because she knew it was never going to happen. She was the only one who knew, standing amongst a whole crowd of people, and the biggest sucker of all was me. You make one move, and I'll fucking kill you, I say. It doesn't convince anyone. Not even me. Tasha laughs. Not a loud, mucking laugh, but a soft giggle. Her eyes are the coldest shade of blue. Be careful with that. You might hurt somebody, she says, almost in a sing-song kind of voice. What's your real name, Tasha? I say through gritted teeth. You can't pronounce it, she grins. Tell me what the hell you did to Charlie, right fucking now, or you'll regret it for the seconds you have left. This time, I sound like I mean it. And Lord knows I do. Charlie, let me think. She lifts her teeth while she ponders, and I feel my stomach turn. Blonde, no, sandy hair, freckles. and a little gap in between his two front teeth, right? And it was don't tell me now, a Spider-Man shirt he was wearing that day. Am I on the money? She knows she's right. She can see it in my eyes. Cutest little smile on that one, she says. I can see why you missed him. I squeezed the trigger. A bullet whizzes past her right ear, planting itself in a Pulp Fiction poster on the wall behind her. 4 left now. It's the first time she seems earnestly shocked. A small victory, but I'll take it. It's the only one I've had in 6 years. What the fuck did you do to him? I scream at her. You know what you are, you bitch? I know what you've been doing. Why kids? Why Charlie? Will it really comfort you to know the answer, she asks. Is that something you want rattling around in your head after this? I let out a sound that's half laugh and half wheeze. After this, there's no after this, Tasha. I have to know, and you have to die, and then I'm done. I just want it to be over. So you fucking tell me, or I'll blow your head off right here, right now. When I draw a bead on her face this time, she knows I'll do it. She knows I've been waiting to do it for a long, long time. I spent thousands of hours in the range with this gun, practicing again and again for this moment. She shrugs and sighs. Well, since you asked, she says, sounding almost annoyed. Kids, because they're easier to finish in one sitting without leftovers. Charlie, because I'd skipped breakfast, and he was walking alone. There's nothing personal, really. Just the wrong place, wrong time. It hits me like a firework. First, the force of the impact. Then the explosion. And then the white-hot, searing pain of my worst fears being realized. Charlie. My Charlie. She laughs again, louder this time. You seem shocked, lady, she says, inclining forward slightly. You said you know what I am. Guess you've still got some things to learn about me. Tasha smiles, and I see that her teeth aren't just teeth anymore. She's got these huge, serrated fangs. A piranha face. Teeth that tear. Teeth that kill. Teeth that can devour. If it's any consolation, it wasn't easy for me either, she says, lips curling into an inhumane grin. He went down fine, but he came out like a studded belt. I open fire. I can't listen to it anymore. 2 shots. One clips her shoulder, causing a rose of black blood to bloom under her shirt, but the other one misses. It's only when she lunges forward, faster than I could have ever imagined a creature moving, and wraps a now clawed hand around my throat, that I realized she was trying to rattle me. And I fell for it. I'm so sorry, Charlie, I think, as she squeezes. At least Mama will see you soon. She lifts me clear off the ground with supernatural strength, her shoulders still pissing blood. She snarls with her mouth full of broken glass teeth. The gun slips out of my hand. It's on the ground somewhere, what feels like miles below. You fucking bitch, she growls. That was my favorite blouse. She squeezes. I'm stuck between the desire to thrash and kick and desire to save my energy for one decisive strike. I'm working on limited oxygen, though. How can anyone be this strong? He cried for you as I did it, she says. Oh, he cried and cried and cried, squealing like a piglet on a grill, right up until the very end. Fucking delicious. Little by little, she lowers me towards her face. I can see the bones in her jaw shifting under her skin, preparing to open wider than any natural mouth could. The borders of my vision are starting to blur. It won't be conscious for much longer, and after that I'll be dead. And I just keep thinking, Charlie, I'm so sorry I couldn't get her for you. Charlie, I always promised I'd protect you from the monsters, in your closet, under the bed, even all the little terrors you had to deal with at school. But in the moment it counted you most, I let you down. I'm just so sorry, baby. I hope you can forgive me. I started going limp, and Tasha laughs at me. My one working arm starts feeling around the back of my belt, grasping for something, trying to find desperate purchase. I'll admit, I'm impressed that you found me, lady. None of the others have, she says, and I can feel her hot breath on my face as her jaws open like a drawbridge. You must really love your son. Now go see him. That's when I feel it. The cold relief of metal on my fingertips. 6 years of preparation to kill the monster that killed my son, and you don't think I'd only have more than one weapon? Evidently, she didn't see it coming either, and she paid for it with an eye. With the last of my strength, I pulled out the concealed knife I strapped to my belt, and stabbed it into her left eye. She gives an ear-splitting scream and drops me to the floor with a thump that winds me. But while she's feeling around her face for the knife, dripping with thick rivulets of black blood, I manage to scramble to grab the revolver off the ground and unload my last 2 rounds into her torso. Direct hits. Tasha screams again, now a chaos of teeth, flailing limbs, and black blood. She stumbles over me and runs off into the hall. By the time I regain my footing and follow her out, she's already gone, leaving a black trail down the length of the hall and into the stairwell. Sure, she'd gotten out, but she's gotten out a hell of a lot worse than me. I'm off the scene before the blue lights start flashing, between the screaming and the gunshots. Mine and little Tasha's little entanglement had attracted quite a bit of attention, but as I sit in my car on the edge of town, weeping and recording all of this, I'm not thinking about that thing. I'm thinking about my little Charlie, and what had happened to him while he was walking to school that fateful day, 6 years ago. She'd taken the whole beautiful life he'd had in front of him. He would have been 14 now, discovering himself, meeting new people, finding new interests, and joy, and deciding what he wanted to do with himself. But now he was gone because that one morning, Tasha had been hungry, and he'd been nearby. There was no meaning to his suffering. There never is in the end. She'd taken his life, and someday soon, I'm going to take hers. The hunt going on may not seem like a happy ending, but like I said, you have to appreciate the little victories along the way. And of course, the 2 most important facts of all. I know she did it, and now I know she can bleed. Next time, rest assured, I'm putting 6 in her head. For him.